right. Let's do this.
Speaking of which, I really like I don't know if I like it, but at the same time, I really like it. The ship in the background, like, it doesn't seem realistic to me how it landed in the sand like that, but that's just a whole different tangent.
I thought that was pretty sweet since the very first trailer.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me. Yeah, just how, like, ludicrous it looks in the background.
All right, my friends. Let's go. Star Wars. Into the Wasteland. Chapter 13, Sand and Stars. After narrowly escaping a First Order massacre, Pwyll, Lex, and Tess Stark, along with a squad of local militia and a BB-8 droid, flee into the desert. Alone and against the elements, their only hope is to find a way off the planet and back to the Resistance. Meanwhile, Malek and Europa have fallen into the hands of the enemy. Shall our heroes prevail and resist the iron will of the First Order, or will they succumb to circumstances and divulge Resistance secrets? Will the harsh desert of Jakku doom Tess and Pwyll to a sandy grave? Or will they complete their mission and eventually get their prize back into the hands of their allies? Let's roll for Destiny points, shall we?
Give me a second. I need to... Oh, it's on the character info actuals page.
No Rogue One spoilers. No problem. I won't spoil it, except to say... No, just kidding. What? You have somebody that still needs to roll Europa? No.
That's really unlikely.
I can roll for Mox if you just really want me to.
Yeah. You don't have to. I mean, it's probably fine. You get an extra light side point because of Sark, so that's what, 3, 5, that's 6 light?
Yeah. Unless you want other characters to roll.
Well, it depends if they're going to be in the game.
Are they going to be in, Jared?
I don't know. Maybe. But I think this is fine. I
don't know. Maybe. That's like 90% of my GM answers. I don't know. Maybe.
Depends what you do. So I have this the nifty double click thing in my arsenal now that you guys told me about. So I might be setting the difficulty a little bit more. I think it could be more streamlined that way. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but I have 6 light side, no dark side points at this point. So use them, not sparingly. Okie doke.
Or we do. We keep Jared in his little corner.
Don't do that. Don't be a prig. All right. So
the rules actually frown on the bogarting of light side points.
They do. So our movie is going to start here. The camera pans across a jet black starscape. The deepness of the gloom is depressing, and even more so as brilliant points of light disappear one by one and are eclipsed by the monstrous shadow of a First Order Star Destroyer. Dun dun dun. There's a scene cut, and now you're in the ship's interior. The camera pans across the gray floor. You see the bottom of a Bacta tank. As the camera pans up, you see the figure of Malek inside. He's intermittently jerking. You can see newly knitted wounds covering his body. Then you hear a voice. Very well, then. When Master arrives, you will tell us what we need to know. There's the picture of a First Order officer. Then the camera pans over to Europa's face. It's badly bruised and beaten. She is strapped to a tilt table for interrogation. Obviously, she's been the subject of some measure of blunt force trauma. So I ask you again, says the officer. What were the last coordinates of the Resistance flotilla?
Let's see. So how close or far away is this guy from me?
Or a couple feet, couple steps, like not within reach.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I imagine I'm in like the same thing that Ray was in, like the
you're kind of in something like that.
I'll say it like really hushed. Say something really mumbled and hushed, like look like face down, looking like that. And am I like free to move my head around like that?
Yeah, you're free to move.
So my head's just hanging down like that, and I'm just like saying
Hannibal Lecter on him.
Yeah,
chew out his tongue.
Oh no, I'm about to do something a lot worse.
So he says, "What did you say?" He gets a little bit closer, but not within reach.
I'll say it again, this time quieter as well, and like spit up blood as well.
Okay, let's see what's your hit points and strain and all that.
My hit points is, when I left off, it was 3. I received no healing. It's because of the big gun. But my strain is quite high, unless you want to modify it. Because I've obviously taken a beat.
Yeah. So why don't you put your hit points like back to half, and just round up. Half to your base, round it up, and
you want my strain it. Okay, it's half. All right, so
yeah, both of them are half rounded up. So just put them at that.
Okay, done.
All right. He still doesn't step any closer to you, and just instruct his droid to give you a little short shock. And this syringe kind of comes out of this black orb and just jabs into your side and gives you electrical shock. And I want you to roll a average discipline check, and your difficulty is set. Your difficulty is set, so just roll discipline. So Europa, just you RP what happens here. You obviously resist the coercion.
Yeah, so he sends his droid after me, and I get the jolt across my body, and there's the initial shock, and she just kind of looks up at him through half glazed over eyes, and maybe one of her eyes is kind of swollen shut, and she just kind of grins. You're gonna have to do a lot better than that if you want your information. And she just kind of, from this distance from him, she'll just spit in his face with her blood.
In my GM notes, I'll probably say she'll probably spit in his face or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna headbutt him and do actual 5 points of damage to him, but he didn't get close enough.
So he produces a handkerchief from his uniform and smears the blood off of his face and says, "Very well then, I see that you're not amenable to our usual techniques of persuasion. Let's see how brave you are when Master arrives." And he does a heel click 180, leaves the room. You hear the door kind of close, and a few moments go past, and you hear somebody else approaching. This kind of gives you a little bit of time to take in the room. You look to your left, and Malek still, Malek's floating in the Bacta, that sort of thing. So the officer leaves and is replaced by this black cloaked figure in the doorway. The figure enters. She's walking casually, and she shuts the glass door behind her. She has a little medical droid with her at this point, and gone is the interrogation droid, and gone is the officer. It's obviously Leia, and she approaches Europa and says, "You look worse for the wear, Europa," she says. "You should have talked sooner. Now you're wasting all of our time. because you know you will talk eventually. The medical droid flanks Leia and begins the process of removing Malek from the Bacta. So he's getting pulled out of the Bacta. They take out his endotracheal tube, and they kind of deposit him, these droids, into one of these tilt tables, kind of at the same, he's to the left of Europa, and they're kind of in the same shape. Eventually, he's somewhat dry. He starts to regain consciousness, and he noticed that he is, to the left of the tattooed female.
I'm glad to see you could join us, Malek. She just kind of says through bloody grinned teeth.
Malek kind of turns and coughs and spits out what Bacta had gotten into his mouth, and probably that he perhaps aspirated. And he looks up kind of dazed and confused because he's probably been unconscious, I assume, ever since the desert. And
on fire.
Yeah, and on fire. And
so yeah, he's covered with scars now, but they're kind of that new pink scar kind of
silvery type of stuff. Yeah,
that scaly stuff.
He kind of like looks up. Would he be in pain after the Bacta, or?
I don't think so, because all indication of lore in Bacta is that it like repairs your like nervous system and all that stuff. Although you would have like something equivalent to the blindness effect, although it's not the same from carbon.
Yeah, I don't think he'd feel great. I mean, you'd feel like Luke coming out of Bacta. He looks a little rough.
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of similar to Europa. But I want you to restore your hit points to full, and then your strain to half.
So take my strain down to half, and then
take your strain down to half.
That makes a lot of sense because he would be like exhausted, right?
Yeah. You guys are both just. I mean, you've been getting interrogated for it might be days,
So Malek looks up and he coughs and kind of tries to take his surroundings, and his hand immediately goes to like his hip, but he's obviously half naked and doesn't have his blaster there as he sees Leia, and he kind of stumbles to his feet and kind of crashes against one of the medical tables next to him and kind of backpedals and is kind of hopelessly looking for a weapon.
Yeah, the droids, I mean, I think they would have like secured you before you kind of regained consciousess. So you're kind of on one of those tilt tables as well.
Well, he just like kind of thrashes at it and doesn't go anywhere, obviously, and doesn't really say anything.
So this obviously pleases Leia to see you struggle so much, and she kind of addresses you and enters into a soliloquy, stealing your GM technique. So she says, "I must say," whispers Leia in Malek's ear, "I did not intend for your lovely wife to die. That wasn't the plan at all. But your furry friend had to go screw things up. She was this close to joining me and bringing your son and yourself along for the ride. I pray you don't make the same mistake. We know what we seek lies in the hands of your friends, and it's only a matter of time before they're captured. They will be executed for the crimes against the Order." She looks at Europa and Malek. "But both of you, there's fire in both of you. I can feel it. I'll give you both chances to join with us. I'll give you a chance to create peace. And who knows," she lowers her voice, "perhaps even with time the Supreme Leader may fall with us in his stead. For we are ruthless." She beckons the droid over, and he comes forward with a vat, and from that vat is produced the head of Lor San Tekka. She moves to Europa and then drops the severed head at her feet. "Don't let this innocent's blood be on your hand. Tell me all you know about what remains of the Resistance, and then join me."
She kind of like raises an eyebrow, like the swollen side of her face with an eyebrow, and she just looks down at the head. "I hate to tell you, sweetheart, but that blood isn't on my hands. He died at yours, I imagine." She just kind of looks up with a grin on her face.
And she kind of looks into Europa's eyes and looks her over and her tattoos and probably scars from her adventures. And she might sense, a little bit of the darkness about Europa.
Oh, there ain't a little bit. I have 29.
Yeah, there's a bit of darkness in you. She says, I sense darkness within you. He says, none of us are without fault in this. She said, it might not have been your hand that killed this man, but if I search into your past, you've done some great wrong. We know this. What better way to make it right than to join me? And then you feel the tendrils of the Force try to enter your mind and try to make you believe this, try to make you feel that you're just such an awful person. Really, the only way out to even bring all this wrong you've done, maybe.
I'm going to attempt to try and add a black die to her force power, whatever she's using, if she's using one. And all I need to do is roll a white for that.
All right, do that, yeah.
Well, I get what I want.
Yep, you do. So you get a setback.
Yeah, it's just one black die. That's all this suppressed power is. It's like I'm basically like my force of my will is just like too high. And I'm like actively trying to do something to prevent her from persuading me.
So she's going to use her influence power. What would be your discipline?
My discipline is 1 yellow. Let me look. It's 1 yellow and 2 greens.
1 yellow and 2 greens?
And then with whatever her setback would be, so 1 black, I imagine.
So black, so that'd be the equivalent of 2, if you're doing an opposed, 2 reds and a purple.
Okay.
And Mistress Leia is going to roll her force power.
I might need to roll again.
So it's got to be a discipline versus discipline first.
Already did. I just did. Wait, why do I have a black?
No, you don't. No, so it's an opposed check. It's her discipline versus yours. So.
Oh no, you just have the setbacks in there for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need to. Leia actually makes the roll.
Okay.
So she is going to be. She gets her check. Does she have adversary?
I thought she had
adversary 3. Okay.
Yeah, she had adversary 3 last time.
So it'll be upgraded. Upgrade 1, 2, 3. And I'll do a discipline. Yeah, so she succeeds. And you believe this thing. I'm going to let it up to you. I'm going to leave it up to you whether you decide to join them or not. But you obviously kind of she's manipulating you. It's a mind trick of sorts. So you do feel that, you're a bad person, that there might not be any way around this except to maybe join with them. So yeah, she's successful and no advantage, no threats. So that's it. So how did you respond to that?
I don't think Europa is the kind to even speak up at that. Maybe it's just that she just kind of looks down and looks maybe defeated and confused. Up until this point, she's probably been very stalwart against their interrogation and whatever. But due to this, the force manipulation, it's maybe not. She's starting to see that there's no way out of this other than staying with them. Kind of like how the rebels took her over to begin with, but she isn't probably speaking about it. She's probably just looks down and is confused morally.
Yeah, and remember this effect only lasts several minutes too.
Yeah, so I think she's of that thinking of right now. Yeah, obviously she succeeded, so I'm force persuaded. But I think it's more along the lines she's just trying to run it through her head, and she's gone quiet and looked down. She's not the same kind of super abrasive as she was before. Super tough and.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she kind of looks and she kind of smiles. She says, "Yes, Yes, you know I speak the truth. And she says, and what about you, Malek? You have something I want as well. She says, I couldn't get your wife to join me, and maybe you won't join me. But perhaps there's information you may care to tell me about your son.
Malek looks at her and kind of laughs, and he's like, you know as well as I don't know anything about him as far as the Force.
Then she just kind of takes a deep breath, and he says, then his location? Where is he?
And he just, like, stares at her and doesn't say anything.
Okay. So at this point, she is going to use the influence talent in a little different way. So she kind of extends her hand, and Malek feels this awful just pain in his mind, like this urge to talk, but he inherently resists it. So we're going to do a discipline versus discipline again.
Can I use my force power again? It says that I can do anything in short range. So
yeah, you can.
Well, I was almost going to ask because if that's the case, because I don't want to overstep. The thing is, I don't want to overstep because I just failed. She succeeded on me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want me to, that's fine. But
yeah, I think you probably have a point. But if you flip over one of those light sides, maybe you can do it.
What do you think, guys?
You have 6 of those fuckers.
Well, I'm gonna flip one for my defense. I can tell you that.
Well, I'm fine with you using one of them.
What about you, Bruno? You fine with me using them?
Sure.
All right, cool. Well, I will. So as to explain how I flipped the light side point, I kind of like shake my head and like look over to Malek. Malek, don't listen to her. She's just trying to get into your head, and you should take that up with me, you stupid bitch. And
something like I might be lost, but you're a good person or something. Yeah. Okay. I won't.
Oh shoot! I didn't mean to do that. My bad.
No. You're good.
No, I added a die. I didn't mean to do that. Can you take that one out?
Rolled a destiny point. Yes, I can take it out.
I didn't mean to do that.
So let's do this.
So I'm going to use the destiny point to I guess upgrade the difficulty.
I'll just change it. So you did have 6. So it'll be 4 and 2 at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to click it. 5 and 2. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, 4 and 2.
Yeah, after you'd be done.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Just the setback. Don't worry about that.
All right, so you're going to flip one as well?
Yep.
To upgrade the difficulty even more? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So what would your...
2 greens.
2 greens?
Yeah.
So you'd be 1 red, a purple,
yeah,
and a black.
Not looking good.
Not looking good. Upgraded 3. Discipline versus discipline. Okay. She succeeds. So this is not a mind trick per se, but it's a way to inflict strain based on her roll here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to roll her force points. This double click thing's so nice. So 3. All right. So I think I can inflict 2 strain, 3, 4, 5. So you take 5 strain.
Okay.
What does that put you at?
1.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So you just break out into a sweat. Your mind hurts. You don't talk to her. You just kind of grit your teeth and like, ah.
Yeah, I kind of like
almost passed out.
Yeah, he's like flexing forward against the restraints, and his face is red, and just kind of like screams out in like a gruntle type of animalistic type of yell.
Europa kind of pipes up and says, "He's not the one you want, Leia. I'm the Force user here." And she like turned her head to like talk to her. "You're not going to get anything out of him if you kill him."
So she gets ready to reply to him. She opens her mouth, and her comlink chirps, and she answers it. She's like, "Yes." She says, you hear a voice say, "Please report to the holodeck, Master. The Supreme Leader has an incoming transmission." And she clips it back at her belt, and she says, "We're not done here, boys. I'll be back." And she looks to Malek and says, "I get the sense that one of you is about ready to break." And there's a screen wipe.
Screen wipe.
All right, Bruno and Tess. There's a screen wipe, and then the camera shows a brilliant yellow sun. There's blue sky. There's a sound of howling wind, and as the camera pans down, the blue turns into a maelstrom of brown and gray. Faintly through the storm, you can see a spherical droid, a Toydarian fighting against the gusts, and a human female and several others that are more aptly clad in desert garb. Without shelter, they continue forward against the elements. It's been over nearly 2 days since they fled the village. Though guided by the locals, they've had to brave the desert night and now find themselves in a sandstorm.
So Pwyll is trying to keep down, so he put his wings all down so he doesn't get blown by the wind.
Yep.
Then he asks one of the locals, "Are you sure this is the right way for civilization?"
And one of the Jakku villagers, they're actually fairly well trained, ex-military troopers. They're equipped fairly well, but like nobody nobody was ready to just flee into the desert immediately. So, supplies of water were low, and they probably haven't had enough shelter at night. It gets very cold. And one of them says, "Yes," he says, "I think we've made it through the worst of it, but there's still a hard bit ahead." And he is out of breath and just kind of has his hand up over his eyes, and he looks back to Pwyll, and he says, "Do you need some help?" And he kind of points to his back, and he says, "They built us sturdy here on Jakku. Fold back your wings and hop on my back, and I'll carry you the rest of the way there."
He does it. He goes to his back. Say thanks. It was kind of hard for my I don't usually use those legs to walk,
He just gives kind of a hearty laugh, and as you could feel this guy's face, and his skin is that leathery skin. It's just been out in the elements way too long. And as Pwyll looks to his left or right, he surely sees Tess there along with these guys, and Tess is doing what?
She's just plodding along through the sandstorm with the others.
That shit sucks. All right, so you have 7 of these guys with you. So it's 7 of you. It's BB-8, Pwyll, and Tess. And to make it through these sandstorm, they're going to make some checks here. You can do survival. You can do something else according to RP. Whatever you think is thematic. and the squad will roll as well. And you can even use the bonuses of the squad to pass on to you guys if you want to. Okay.
So
Okay.
if they are locals and used to weathering, so probably have survival as I.
Yeah, they look like fairly hardy individuals. Nobody has their proper equipment with them. So the Jakku folks will get a setback, and you will too. But when the Jakku troops roll, they'll also get a boost.
Okay, I'm gonna use the mission specialist formation.
All right, what's that?
While his squad is in this formation, squad leadership skill to perform a single computers, medicine, skullduggery, survival, or any knowledge check. The squad must remain in this formation for the duration of the check. The leader can only do this a number of times equal to his leadership per session.
All right, so in plain English, what are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to use their skills, to maybe find more water or food.
So your leadership skill?
Yep.
All right, yeah, perfect. So I think that'd be like a hard with a setback since you're out in the desert, not in unfamiliar territory. So why don't you roll that?
But it's familiar for them.
Oh, yeah, so you kind of direct them, so I'll give you a boost. So
setting the
the difficulty is set. Go. Oh, awesome.
I think that should be enough for all of us.
Yeah. So everybody gets an extra boost. So Pwyll kind of becomes fast friends with this guy who's riding on his back, and he gathers the Jakku troops together and uses his leadership acumen to help organize them and instructs them, and they eventually find what amounts to be some sort of shelter. Like it's basically a tall dune with a rocky outcropping that they can kind of get under. So that's pretty good. And so as they march on, the temperature starts to drop as the sun, it's past noon now. It's about like 4 or 5 o'clock, and the temperature's starting to get a little bit cooler. And we're all going to make 2 rounds of survival checks and see how we do it. Now, do you want the Jakku squad to go first?
Yep.
Okay. So it's going to be a hard check. They're going to get a boost inherently, a setback inherently, and then they're going to get another boost from your leadership. Is that correct?
Yep.
Sweet. Let's do this. Gosh, this double click thing makes it so easy. I can't believe I didn't know this.
You're welcome.
Fail. Okay. So as you guys try to weather out this storm, you notice that most of your crew is taking it pretty well, but then towards the edge of the shelter, there's one guy. His name's John. And
it's always John.
John used to make a bunch of jokes, and the guy next to him was like, "Hey, John, what do you think?" And just John's not talking anymore. And his buddy, reaches his hand underneath his helmet and kind of looks back to the rest of everybody else and just shakes his head. Probably died of dehydration and exposure, but he's gone. So why don't you make it your check, either Tess or Pwyll?
Go, Tess. Pwyll just goes to to Bob, John. And then just says a silent prayer and says his goodbyes to the fallen warrior, then tries to set people to bury him so that he's not doesn't turn into food beast in the.
All right. And Tess?
Okay, so I guess Tess will try a survival roll. She will
Your difficulty's set.
look around the outcropping and see. I don't know if maybe there's something we missed, a way to get further in out of the sandstorm. And I think she will use one of her abilities from her character tree, Touch of Fate. Once per game session, the character may add 2 blue dice to any one skill check.
Oh, man. Pulling out those stops. All right. I have added those.
Okay, so I just need to roll a survival check then.
Boom. You got it.
All right.
I like that talents are actually coming into play.
I actually forgot about my one that gives whoever I want within extreme range 2 black die, but
Sweet. So you're successful. You actually kind of pop your head up over this dune, look around, and you notice that there is what looks to be like an old lair of a creature that was like covered over with sand, but as the wind blows, it just like whoosh, you can see it, and you might be like, guys, come on, we can go deeper in this way.
Okay, so that's what she'll do. She'll try and lead everybody into better shelter.
And so now everybody gets another bonus. So they get 2 boosts. First because of Pwyll's leadership, and second because of Tess's survival check here. And do you want to do anything with that advantage?
Pass a boost to Pwyll.
The Pwyll?
Yeah.
Okay. Pwyll, make your check, son.
The difficulty set.
Your difficulty is set, as are your 2 boost die. So fail. So you try to help out, but your small stature you just get buffeted around by the wind, and you almost get blown away. But John's buddy just reaches out and grabs your wing. You're like, oh, get back here. And you notice like your eyes are all braided, your vision's blurry, and you're just very out of breath. So you take 5 strain. All right.
5.
Yep, 5.
I'll ask the guys to drag John's body into the cave. This may serve him as a tomb when tomorrow.
One of the guys is like, yeah, he's not going to decompose, that's for sure. And they start to drag his body into this cave area, and there's only 6 of them left at this point because John's dead. And so once they get inside, they feel a bit more protected from the elements, but there's still the exposure of the dehydration into play. So they're going to get, though, they're going to get 3 boost die to their check this time. So let's do it. Boom. So they succeed. They feel better. One of them even like finds a cantina. They start passing it around like, a couple drops to drink. They have a few drops and shake it into their mouth, and they pass a boost die on to whoever goes next.
Jared, try to cover some strength. I'm gonna use my second wind ability.
Okay.
Once per encounter, so this counts as an encounter.
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna 13, 16.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, so Pwyll or Tess, you're up next.
Go, Tess.
All right. Tess will get the guys to start kind of digging into this lair a little bit and see if we can kind of close up the entrance and protect ourselves further.
All right, and you should have 1 boost from leadership, 1 boost from the advantage, and another one from your your successful survival check last time. So that's 3 boosts on yours. Your difficulty's set.
All right.
All right, sweet. So you do pretty well. After you're inside, everybody's feeling right as rain. And what do you want to do with your 2 advantage?
Let's see. Well, definitely pass 1 boost to Pwyll.
All right, let's do that. I'm looking at the cheat sheet now. It's actually 2 advantage. You can pass a boost. It looks like so.
Okay, well then that's perfect.
Well, you can do it with 1, but I think 2 is fine.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right. So you're going to have 3 boosts on yours?
Yeah, I think so.
So leadership, yeah, you have 3. So your difficulty is set. That second wind really helped, man. That's a fail, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it seems that because of I'm gonna bust out some science on you, because of your higher relative body surface area compared to everybody else, you get dehydrated a lot faster, and so your blood, you get a headache, your vision gets more blurry, and you take 5 more strain.
Holy crap! I'm gonna die this way.
Well, that's it though. We're only doing 2 rounds of it.
2 more? I'm gonna be dead.
No, not 2 more. 2 total.
I'm at 8 strain.
You got it. So you guys are pretty tired.
Yep.
So eventually the storm clears and the camera pans again up into the brilliant blue sky. Down below, you guys are you lost John, and you're worse for the wear, but you survived the storm. The sun is now hanging even lower, and it's noticeably cold out. The dust settles, and one of the locals brings up some macro binoculars and points out something in the distance. You can almost see what looks like a city skyline, but it's not a city. It's the hulking remains of a battle long ago. You can see the ruins of Star Destroyers and machines of war poking up from the sand. One of the locals brings up the condition of the party and says, "We can't take another night out here in the open. We'll need to build a fire, and we shouldn't do that in the open, not with the search teams that have been out scouring the area." Just then you hear this. You hear the whine of engines in the distance, and the camera cuts to a land speeder piloted by 2 sand troopers. The vehicle turns on a spotlight in this dusk, and the heroes feel it sweep over them, and they can hear far across the sand, they can hear voices say, there they are, run them down." All right, let's roll some initiatives.
Vigilance?
Yes, vigilance.
Okay, so Tess is going to use a force power.
Hang on. Okay.
And so she'll just roll her force dice along with her vigilance check.
So just tell me how you manually want to edit this.
Let's see. The initiative upgrade says when making a check to determine initiative, force user may roll the force power check, blah, 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 spend a pip to gain a success per point of the check.
You be first. We'll move you to the top of the order, then that would make you top of the order. So it would be PC, NPC, PC, right? Oh, I got to roll for the Jakku folks too. I forgot.
No, they don't need to. They act in my round.
Are you going to form a squad?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you an incidental kind of a maneuver to do that, or action. So make your leadership check to do that.
Is it set?
I believe it's just average, so.
No,
Yep.
It's easy. To form is easy.
Oh, okay, cool. It's set. Boom. Sweet. So what do you say?
Form up, line of fire. Focus fire on the engines.
So they all, it's just like kind of like Hoth, but it's in a desert planet. They all kind of get out of this bunker you guys are in, and they get their blaster rifles, and they kind of they all drop prone on the sand and kind of line up this speeder in their sights. All right. So this thing's coming at you right now. It's in long range, and PC's up.
Well, Tess doesn't have anything that'll reach him at long range, so Pwyll, you and the squad, go ahead.
Okay. This round I'm gonna have. Do I get another incidental so I can get a better formation?
That's a maneuver, isn't it, to do that? To order them into a different formation? But yeah, just do it as a maneuver. We're going to keep moving this session.
Okay. No problem. I'm gonna use that as a maneuver. So they assume they've dug in formation. That means one setback to their defense. Then I'm gonna use.
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit.
Is it better now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use Field Commander. That's an average leadership check to give them an extra maneuver, so they can use it to aim their fire.
Sweet. Roll it up.
Is it set?
Yep. Done.
So they get an extra maneuver next round so that they can aim and fire.
Okay. So you're going first then. And so now you want to move for them?
I don't see their token.
There's no tokens.
Okay, so they'll just aim. Use 2 maneuvers to aim so that since they're in long range.
You don't want to fire.
Yeah.
Okay, you want them to fire then.
How do I do that?
You just say men fire.
Yeah, I'm fire.
Okay. So they're going to get 2 defense because they're prone too. So if they get attacked, they're kind of bunkered down. because of their formation and that. So you get out, you're like, fire on that speeder. They're at long range, and they aim actually twice, so they get 2 boosts.
Yeah.
And are they aiming at the speeder itself? The guys inside, right now, since they're moving, it's going to be a setback, and they have improved cover, so total of 3 setbacks.
Yeah, but we need that speeder. Okay, go for the guys.
Go for the guys? All right, so 2 setbacks, and I'm going to use a dark side point to upgrade that check once. And the Jakku squad are gonna fire the weapons. I'm gonna downgrade them once too because they lost a men. Downgrade once, okay.
Do you want to use a? Never mind.
Oh man,
That's a lot of advantage.
That's a crit.
oh yeah, it's at least 1 crit. I didn't roll for some reason. That's my fault. It should have been 3 setback, but it's fine. So they pop out of this bunker, and there's this land speeder. That picture's not very good. I wanted the one like from the deleted scenes from the movie, but I couldn't find a good picture. But they're kind of all 6 guys kind of lay out on the sand and aim, and Pwyll is like, fire, and they shoot, and they hit this guy 9, 10, takes 5 damage. They hit the driver. The driver kind of veers off to the side, but he's still alive. And then there's 6 guys, and just they're peppering the cockpit with fire. And then the second trooper, the second one that's piloting it, kind of like, and tumbles out of the side, just tumbles down into the sand as this thing continues to speed past you guys. All right, you done?
Yep.
And so this speeder, kind of the pilot's wounded. It kind of rooster tails and stops at long range, and you can see he's kind of fiddling with the dashboard and trying to get his weapons online and try to aim it at the group. And so he aims his weapons just kind of in the general direction of where the fire came from, and tries to go after the troopers. So they have a defense of 2 now. It's going to be a long shot. And they're going to fire at the squad. And they miss. And so just all they're kind of hunkered down, and it's because of the they're prone, and the leadership of Pwyll giving them good positioning, that all these blaster shots just sand explodes in front of them, but they're all like, keep your head down. They look around, and nobody's injured. All right, Tess.
All right, the sand troopers are still out of Tessa's range, so this turn she's just gonna take on the force and commit a force die to her sense ability.
All right. That it?
That's it.
All right, round 2. Good guys are up again.
Okay. I'll try to use the same thing, but instead of giving them, I'm gonna give them the strain they used last round back.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Let me get here. I'm gonna use my
to give them strain back.
Yeah.
They haven't lost any strain. When they took strain, a guy died instead because they don't have strain. Instead of taking strain, they take wounds.
Oh, they don't have strain.
Mm-mm. They're minions.
Okay, but at least they'll get another blue die if I do inspiring ritual on them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And is that
average?
Is that hard? Is that average? All right, difficulty set.
Wow.
You're a good leader.
Okay, so they get an extra blue die their attack. I'm not gonna change the formation, so that's it.
All right, so these guys are. Pwyll comes up and he's like going along with the ranks, fluttering on, like patting them on the back, like, stay at it, boys, and aim down and shoot true. And so they're going to shoot true.
They have that bonus for 3 rounds, okay?
Mm-hmm. I think they'll probably finish them off, but so you get that. They're going to aim on their own as well, so they'll get 2 blues. And they're going to roll. Boom. So you hear this bam, bam, bam. The rifle fire goes off, and you see the driver there just kind of slump over at this point. And then all is quiet again.
Okay. Let's move up. Be careful. There might be someone still alive there.
So they're like, aye, Captain, and they move forward, and one of them kind of gives Pwyll a high five, and another one kind of looks around and says, "Where's Tess? Is she okay?"
Tess pops up out where she's hiding behind a dune. I'm fine.
Okay, grab the weapons if they are better than yours. Grab water and ration supplies. And let's get the fuck out of here.
So you guys get to the speeder, and you do indeed find some water there. The stormtrooper or sandtrooper blasters are just about the same quality, so they don't grab those. And so you guys notice this thing has like spots for 2 people to drive. And the other 6 of them just kind of pile on the speeder, and it's just sitting low to the sand. And as you look over your left shoulder, you can tell that the sun is setting. It's almost at the horizon. And one of the Jakku troop members says, I suggest we get a move on. And he points over to that land speeder, or to the downed Star Destroyer, and he says, "Look like a good place to cover as any."
I think so too.
All right.
Does anyone know how to check if this thing is emitting some kind of signal to anywhere? It is, then we deactivating it.
Not really a strong suit for Tess in either computers or mechanics.
And these guys from Jakku, they're kind of primitive. They don't know a lot of that stuff. They kind of look over the vehicle and say, we don't see anything obvious, but we got to get moving. All right. There's nothing on there. All right. So there's going to be another screen wipe. So there's a tight camera shot of a darkly cloaked Leia. She walks into a large chamber and kneels. Before her, a monstrous image of Supreme Leader Snoke. "Greetings, wise master," she says. I have much to report. Snoke's voice is booming and deep. You most certainly do. Your family has served the Order well, but you know the piece we are missing. Are you closer to finding your brother? She replies, very soon we will know his location, Master. I suggest you give our forces the go-ahead and begin the final solution. My son will proceed to Starkiller Base, and I will retreat to Sector 9 as planned. For the New Republic and the Resistance, there will be no escape. Very well, Leia Organa. Very well. And the scene fades out, and there's another screen wipe. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. I sort of beep for some reason.
Maybe the battery's down.
Maybe.
I just charged everything. It should be good.
Mine beeps when the battery is getting low.
I got a backup just in case. I'm prepared. So now there's a tight shot of a First Order Stormtrooper helmet. Pans out. The trooper's marching through the hallway of a Star Destroyer. It rounds a corner, and you see a cell. In it is a dark creature and an R4 unit. The Stormtrooper stops and says, "You two, look alive!" His voice is harsh. He presses a button and the cell opens. "You're going to get me out of here."
R4 beeps a few times. Beep, 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 beep. Yep, it's just like that. And his head spins around and it looks at Mox and then the Stormtrooper and then Mox again.
Mox looks at R4, kind of shrugs, and starts ambling towards the door.
Yep, R4, like, as the astromech droids do, kind of like tilts back and starts wheeling itself towards the Stormtrooper in the exit of the cell.
And the Stormtrooper is like, "Hey, guys, where are you going? Stay here. You're the prisoners. You're getting me out of here. I know where there's a ship. Okay? Got it?"
R4 beeps to the affirmative.
Mox sort of hisses at the guy. "Who are you?"
It's like, "Never mind who I am. I'm a janitor, but I'm going to get you out of here. I am a glorified janitor. And just follow me and we'll be fine."
R4 beeps a few times, and as Mox understands binary, I suppose, he says, "Maybe we should stay."
Mox shakes his head at R4, kind of inclines it at the guy, and nods affirmatively, and follows after the Stormtrooper.
All right.
So R4 is beeping. And the Stormtrooper just kind of looks over his left shoulder and says, "I said janitor. I didn't say idiot." And he goes, "And we work with droids." And he says, "Listen to me. There's no way on hell you'd be better off here. Do you know who's in charge of this ship?" And he continues to walk, and he kind of points his blaster at him. He says, "That Leia, she gives me the willies." And they go up ahead, and like you see a computer terminal, and they stop in front of it, and he says, "For this ship we're going to fly, it's going to take more than us, and there's rumors there's more of you here on board." He says, "But I did say I am a janitor. You're going to have to use this terminal to find your friends. We'll get them, and then we're going to get the hell out of here."
R4 beeps a few times and asks Mox what we should do.
Yeah, well, we ought to. If we have a terminal here that gives us a chance of finding our friends, we definitely ought to avail ourselves of it.
Hey Jared, I don't have access to R4, by the way. If I'm supposed to, I don't know, but
Yeah, let me find him.
I don't know. Is he statted and stuff?
Oh,
Yeah, he is.
He's in the NPC slot.
Yeah, but if you open him, I can't see any details of him. Like the
Here,
actual
hang on.
character
Hang on. I'll give you. All right. You now have access.
Okay.
So the stormtrooper just stands there looking at the terminal and says, "This keypad, it's not going to punch itself. Let's get moving."
So R4 extends his mechanical access arm and plugs it into the terminal, and it rotates left and right and then spins around a few times as he accesses the terminal. I guess, what does he access?
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a hard computer check with a setback, since it's a strange computer system. I'll allow a combined check with Mox if you want to do it.
Sure.
Mox, what's your computers?
Mox is...
Hello?
Say again.
1 yellow, 2 green.
3
Yeah, let's
yellows,
start.
1 green for R4.
So we'd probably be better off using R4, but I'll just give you a boost die then.
Okay. So you're gonna do all the difficulty, the setbacks,
Yep.
and boosts. Okay.
It's all set. Ooh, success with 3 threat. Okay. All right, I know what I'm gonna do with my three threat. But as you guys access this terminal, a map points out, and it gives like very clear directions. And the stormtrooper's like, he's like so happy. He's like, the rumors are true. There's at least 2 more of you, and I know exactly how to get there. He says, after all, we empty the trash receptacles on every level of this damn place.
R4 beeps a few times and essentially asks, who are the other 2?
And R4 looks down at or Mox can see from the computer terminal that's just like, it just says like Jakku prisoners 1, Jakku prisoners 2.
So did R4 and Mox see what happened, or were they not able to see what happened?
Not necessarily. They were kind of like thrown from the ship and kind of just, concussed, and they got, in the aftermath of everything, they got captured.
Yeah. R4 beeps and says we have to go save them.
And Mox vigorously nods at R4.
Okay. And all right. So he marches you guys through the hallway and kind of like says, yeah, the ship, he says, remember, it's in the aft hangar bay. He says it was confiscated from some pirates. I think it's a fast thing. I think it'll do the trick. We just got to get there quick because this charade's not going to last very long. So they find where Europa and Malek are being held, and Mox and R4 march through the ship. Eventually, they turn a corner and stop at a blast door, and the stormtrooper sees there's like 2 guards there, standing outside like sentries, the stormtroopers, and he says, "I have 2 more prisoners for Leia. I have orders to immobilize them inside until they can be interrogated."
Like,
And
R4
so,
gives his whiny beep. Not that one.
There needs to be like a really sad one.
Yeah.
And so like one of the guards just kind of chuckles, rip the circuits right out of him. He says, yeah. He goes, he kind of looks over his shoulders. He goes, the ones in there are proven to be tough cookies. He says, Master had to leave momentarily, but they haven't broken yet. But they will eventually, like everybody does. And he kind of looks down at R4 and he says, this one here has no willpower to resist.
The droid beeps and doesn't beep any. It's like, beep, boom.
Mox kind of steps between the guy and R4.
Okay. And so he's like, have fun in there. Have fun in there. And he opens the door. You guys step in, and it shuts behind you. And So you guys, Starship Interior.
You get to see Europa clad in her entertainer's clothes and heavy clothing.
Yeah, you guys step into this door, and Mox and R4 are with this stormtrooper, and the stormtrooper's like, these guys. He's like, he looks at them like they're all beat up and shit. And he's like, they're in awful shape. This plan just keeps getting worse all the time.
How about you come over here and say that to my face, you piece of shit? And she kind of like coughs a little bit as she heard that comment.
Yeah, R4 beeps excitedly as he sees Malek and like spins off towards him. And does he have like I looked at his sheet. It didn't say what attachments does he have. Does he have like a arc welder or anything like that on him? So he extends his arc welder and like solders off the if they're metal, the restraints.
So he wheels over there, and Malek's restraints kind of fall off, and Malek is kind of free now, and the stormtrooper kind of like motions to Mox, like, come on, let's get her out of here too. He's like, there's no.
So like when they come to get me, I think I want to attempt something, Jared.
All right, what do you want to attempt?
I want to attempt to break my restraints.
Break your restraints. Okay. So what do you want to do? What do you think? Athletics?
Yeah, I mean
something else.
Athletics would be. What do you think? Because athletics covers everything from like lifting heavy stuff.
Yeah, this is just kind of for flair, but yeah, I think athletics, and I'll give you a boost for a cool RP, but it'll be a daunting check.
That's fine.
So 4 of them.
And I'm going to, for the sake of this, commit my force die to my. What would be better? Let me look. Committing my force die to brawn or giving myself 1 check in athletics? Or bumping up something?
I think it's probably equal.
Because I don't know if more greens are better than yellows.
Green statistically is a little bit better as far as increasing the likelihood of success, but with yellow you always have that possibility of triumph. But both of them are good.
Yeah, then I'm just going to increase my brawn by 1, so I'll commit my force die.
All right.
So
you struggle, and like things start to cut into your arms. So you can't break them, and you suffer 2 strain.
That's fine. I don't care about strain.
R4 beeps, and after he's done letting Malek out, wheels over to Europa and cuts her restraints.
She just kind of fall off. Yeah, she just kind of falls in place and like looks at not
to bog us down, guys, but Europa's got to have more than a 1 brawn.
Oh wow! I thought you set the die.
I set the difficulty.
Yeah, so that should be a lot more.
Yeah, I set the difficulty only in the boost.
Okay, so that's what it was. Let me re-roll that then. Unless you just want to keep it.
No, you can re-roll it.
There you go. Now you didn't lose your wounds or whatever.
That's like insane brawn, though. Do you have that high a brawn?
When I commit my die, I will. Yeah.
Wow. You're brawny. You're a brawny lass.
She's on the bomba.
Yeah, I'm ripped. Is that the
So you don't take the strain. You just break out these things.
Like I bust out of them, and I just kind of like look at Malek. It's like I was waiting for you to wake up, asshole.
And Malek like looks over at Europa and really doesn't register what she's saying, and he looks down and sees R4 and Mox, and he's like, "Where did you guys come from? I thought you might be dead."
Mox kind of chuckles and says he thought so too.
R4 beeps and goes about to tell Malek that the stormtrooper had come and has helped them, And Malek looks at the stormtrooper, and he's doesn't really have the energy or any weapon, and he's like, "Who are you?"
He's like, who I am is of little importance right now. And he's like, listen, we can sit around here giving each other hugs and kumbaya all day, or we could get the hell out of here. You know they're not going to let us out of here, don't you? There's 2 guards right outside.
Europa's already starting to walk to the door.
Yeah, Malek kind of pushes himself out of the chair, and he's like, "Give me your blaster."
And he's like, this? Me?
He's like, "Give it to me."
All right, coerce me, buddy.
All right. Coerce you, okay.
So all we need now is Malek to strip out of his containment clothes and just go birthday suit down the starship.
I think I am.
Dongle out and just running it.
I think I just have the tidy whities on, or the granny panties, whatever.
Difficulty set.
It's not gonna work, but.
Oh god! What even happened?
I don't know.
Just
weird.
everything came up blank.
Interesting.
So,
Try it again.
It's a weird roll. No, you just.
Oh,
That
that's actually the roll, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
How's that even possible?
Here, I just want to make sure it's not bugged. No? Okay.
No, it's not bugged.
I think all of them have a blank face.
Yeah, they do all have a blank face.
Interesting.
Yeah, but how's that even possible that all of them?
It's like a 1 in.
Not yeah,
So it's
not
a 12.
a
That's a 4. That's a 4. That's like a 1 in 10,000 chance.
yeah.
The
Multiply them all
force is not with
together.
you.
That's the problem.
You play enough. You play enough.
Yeah, the monkeys and typewriters thing.
Yeah. So the stormtrooper's like, he narrows his eyes, like, what the hell? He's like, I'm the one with the gun. Besides, he's like, if we're going to sell this thing, we got to play it cool, okay? And he looks around. He's like, I know you guys have been through a lot, and it sucks. He goes, it also sucks to be here in the garbage chute every day in and day out.
Like this whole conversation's happening, and Europa's just already got a handprint on the door.
All right. So do you open
Mox
the door?
is scanning the room for any combination of things that will explode, burn, anything of that nature.
Yeah. So Mox finds you find some big long syringes you could use as implemented weapons.
There was that stun thing that the droid used on me.
Yeah, the interrogation droid left. So.
It's attached, yeah.
Yeah, so there's not much else left in this room. It's kind of a bare room.
Malek just shakes his head. He's like, "Fine, get us out of here. But if you give me that blaster, if we get in trouble."
Yeah, so I'm waiting at the door. Pretty
Okay,
much.
so he's like, you guys just play it cool. I'll march you right out of here, okay? And so he opens the door, and he's like, step to it, you resistant scum. And he starts to march you 4 out of there. And one of the troopers there at the door is like, hey, we didn't. You said. He's like, you said you were going to put them here for interrogation. And the stormtrooper, that's rescuing you, just kind of stumbles on his word. And he's like, I don't know. Get him.
Yeah, there's a moment where as Europa just walks to the door as this conversation's happening, she just lays into this one guard right next to her just immediately. She doesn't even wait. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
all right, go roll your attack.
Oh god, this isn't gonna go well for him.
Yep, difficulty set.
Everything good?
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to turn into
crit him anyway.
Yeah, that's going to turn into basically if I wanted to, I could knock this guy out in one hit.
Shoot a shot.
No, I just is it going to kill him with a crit?
Oh yeah, if you want to kill him, you can.
Yeah, I think I just like right hook him, like just a jab, and it just snaps his neck, and he falls down dead. There's your blaster, Malek.
So this guy just his head. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird. Holy shit.
Weird how that sound cut out for some reason. Oh well, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the soundtrack in the background, Jared.
Yeah. Roll20 has been weird lately. Like the past few days, I've had some server outages. So hopefully that's not what's going on. But at any rate, like, you know, Europa just jacks this guy. His head splits. You just hear a sickening crunch. Just, and he slumps to the ground. His blaster does fall down to his side.
Malek probably, can I maneuver to pick it up and then action to shoot?
Yeah, kind of picking it up would be your maneuver, but getting down, and then doing it. You can shoot the other guy. Yeah.
Yep. So I have point blank attack as well. So let's see.
So you don't get the setback or whatever for having rifles.
Let me see exactly what it does. I don't think it does exactly that. I think it does. Sorry.
I'm eyeing up that stormtrooper armor, Jared.
Put it on if you want.
Yeah, that would take too long though.
Notes, right? No, where the hell are my notes?
All right, it's after 11. I can drink now.
After.
I'm on call.
Oh, I see.
Last doctor comes in at 11.
Point blank, add 1 damage per rank of point blank 2 damage on his successful attack using ranged heavy or light at short ranged or engaged.
Yeah.
So it's just
Sweet.
1 extra damage. So, okay. So he the rifle is it a rifle? I don't know what it is, but
yeah, it's a blaster rifle.
So it drops in the guy's lap, and he basically grabs it and kind of like tucks it under his armpit and like secures it with his elbow and just like squeezes the trigger on the guy.
All right, I know what's going to happen, so just roll it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 damage, 13 damage.
Yeah, he's just like his armor just, you can't salvage this guy's armor. It's just like splintered. His chest just explodes in a pit, and he just like is blasted against the wall and slumps over, and his rifle kind of falls out of his grasp as well.
He's like, Mox, grab it and let's go.
Mox does.
So Malek is like basically got his granny panties on, and he's like, let's go, Stormtrooper.
Let's go, you.
Yeah, it's I think Europa, like, after she had cracked that guy over the head, she just started walking down the hallway before people. That was her maneuver, is just angry Europa.
This is a motley-looking crew we've got here. Malek and his tidy whities beat up Europa with her tats. Whatever Mox is,
And
the droid, right?
The droid's the normal one.
he's like behind Europa, you know, checking out the derriere.
Yeah. His arc welder comes out. No.
Yeah. Shocks. Okay, here we go. Moving along. So it seems like hours, though it's only minutes, that the heroes are in the company of the mysterious stormtrooper. They go down lifts, they go up lifts, they go on horizontal lifts that speed towards the stern of the ship. Just stay calm, says the trooper. He pauses. There's a small hangar in the back. Us maintenance guys, yeah. We know a thing or two. In this instance, I know there's a confiscated ship from a band of local pirates. It should work fine. As you round a corner, you see a small hangar housing a rather sleek ship. There's 1 guard and 2 technicians standing by. They turn. Hey, what are you doing with these prisoners?
Yeah, that guard there, he's just going to get instantly charged by me. Like, I'm just going to fling myself at him.
That's what Malek would suggest.
All right. I'm gonna do. I will do some. Yeah, we have a lot of NPCs on this thing, man. Jeez.
Ebonhawk. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Should we roll vigilance?
Yeah, vigilance. He rolled cool just because he's kind of standing guard.
Yep.
Is there a
Actually,
are you setting a difficulty?
no, as a mistake. So I want to increase that. Shit. Just roll them again. Well, let me just clear it. We'll roll again, okay? Let me just clear it. All right, now go.
Roll the same thing. Nice.
Sorry, I had difficulty set on Mox's sheet.
Yeah, I don't know about the A-Wing. I think the A-Wing wasn't with the... I don't know. Was it with the...
I don't think we took it with us.
No, Tess had it unloaded prior to us leaving. She was going to...
Disregard the force die. Oh, no, actually, leave the force die, because that actually... It doesn't work for me, but...
Oh, you're going to go first anyway.
Yeah, so PC's up.
You know the deal. Fling and kill.
All right. So
It's like a Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop from afar.
Yeah, so like I just do the like Jedi force leap thing of like spin in the air and like bring my like back of my leg down on his head. How far is this guy away, Jared?
he's like a medium range.
Okay, yeah. Well, all I need to do is roll a force die. I'm just gonna spend a force point or a light side point to do that. No. You ruled it. I'm using light side. No.
You still use the party mechanic. So use your force point. Click on it.
Okay, yeah.
And then you also suffer. You only need one of those, right?
No, I need both.
So you would suffer 2 strain then as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so you
And
just
I'm
leap,
making
you just leap and land right in front of this guy.
as I'm coming down, I'm gonna try to hit him.
Okay, let's see here. I know he has some stuff going on, so hang on one second. Yeah, adversary 2. Okay.
Well, he's technically counted as engaged, so.
Yep. So it's that. It's gonna be upgraded twice. All right, your difficulty is set if you want to hit this guy.
Wow. Are you serious? What?
So you miss the guy. You whiff.
Smash the ground and put a pothole in the ground, but...
Well, he's technically engaged, so if he shoots at all, he's like gonna take massive negatives.
He's not that type of guy, though. So, okay. Next PC's up.
So what are the, Oh, I should have rolled for R4. I didn't roll for R4. But what are the... Is it just this guy or the technicians?
Well, there's some like
doing
technicians
anything?
and stuff too, but they're just kind of like running for cover. They're probably like, they're like calling in support. They're raising alarms. They're doing everything they can do.
Okay. So I guess should Malek go first or next? I'll probably just shoot the guy that's engaged with Europa if so.
That's fine. I don't care as long as he goes down.
Yeah, you
All
were
right,
better shot.
hang on a second. So somebody added.
That was me. I added R4. You
All
can
right,
delete
let me
it
add
if you
him.
want, but
Why don't you just do him after you?
okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, it's fine.
That's the easiest. Okay, so now we're at the. This doesn't make any sense. Okay.
It'd be a PC next.
Yeah, I mean R4 is just gonna move towards his ship anyway, but so.
All right, I just. Okay.
Sorry, did that screw things
No,
up?
no,
Sorry.
I just got out of order. I'm putting it in order. It's fine. PC.
You already went for me, so.
Okay.
So Malek kind of
So-
strafes to the left and aims and fires at the guard that's engaged with Europa, and he's just yells, "Duck!"
So great
So-
twice. So
And then I'm aiming, so I get a boost.
yeah, you add your own boost,
Okay.
and then I believe since he's engaged with Europa, I think that upgrades it once or increases the difficulty.
I don't know.
I'll just say it upgrades it once because that gives more chance of badness.
Okay. Do you want me to upgrade it, or do you want to?
Nope, I got all the upgrades.
Okay. So I have I have the boost.
Yep, roll it up.
All right. Here we go. Shit.
Holy crap, that's a lot of advantage.
You missed, but you have a lot of advantage. So you
It
want to do with that?
scares him to death.
So I'll tell you what you can do.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to mention this, but with my advantage, I can knock him down. And I can either knock him down or disarm him, and I think I'm going to knock him down.
So he's prone. How much advantage did you have on yours?
Me?
3.
Oh.
Oh, he has like fucking 8.
Well, plus I have Bantha's Eye, which I don't think is actually included in this.
No, I don't think it should be.
5, 6, 7. So I have 8.
Hey, Jared,
Yeah.
do you get my whisper?
No, I don't look at that. It's distracting. Oh, I did not get a whisper. Yeah. There will be. Do you need to leave?
Yeah. Well, actually, I do, but I can wait.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more.
Okay.
All right. So is he prone then?
No, I'm going to knock his weapon out of his hand.
All right. So this guy has one of these baton things, and you miss, but your punch kind of hooks his weapon and it clatters to the ground, and Malek misses. But what happens?
Can I have him stumble and go prone for that many?
Yeah, you can have him go prone. You can. Yeah, that's
That gives me bonuses.
That's 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So you have 4 more left to spend.
Can I get? I'll pass a boost to Mox. Or how many
All right.
boosts I can.
You can pass.
2 boosts, I think. Let me look.
That way,
Yeah, 2
if he
boosts. Yep.
he shoots or whatever he wants to do.
I don't think you can do that over and over again. I mean, just 1 boost and then something else. How about like your shots like clatter across the ground and it moves his weapon further from him,
That's fine.
and Mox gets a boost.
Okay, that works for
Yeah,
me.
that sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right, so you have a Mox up then.
All right. And I, of course, don't have a stormtrooper rifle configured on my sheet, so I'm just going to shoot with Mox's blaster, and we'll figure it out from there.
Okay.
It's probably heavy, isn't it? Just so you know.
What do you think it would be? Would it be on Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, or Force Destiny?
Well, I can just tell you what it is because Malek has
They're
one.
9, right? 9
They're
damage.
9 damage, 3 critical.
Yeah.
But you're right, it would be a ranged heavy, so
Yeah, ranged heavy.
I'll just roll a ranged heavy roll.
It'll be a 2. Let's see. Upgrade that. He's prone, so you get an extra boost, which I'll put in.
Oh no, as Jared at range, they get a a disadvantage, like an upgrade. But on melee,
a setback. Yeah.
On melee, they don't.
You're right. That, and then so two upgrades because adversary. Trying to think if I'm missing something. Oh, he's still kind of engaged with you though, right? With Europa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So upgrade 3 times. Okay. Rolled up, Mox.
Wait, Europa's in hand to hand with him still?
She's kind of lording over him. In hand to hand range, yeah.
Don't kill me.
Yeah, Mox might hesitate to take that shot. He might not feel comfortable shooting a rifle that close to Europa.
You run to the ship.
Yeah, you could head towards the ship.
Yep, Mox will run to the ship and start trying to get it warmed up.
So Mox uses 2 maneuvers to get to the ship, and as he runs, he's like firing randomly, just suppressive fire to scare off the technicians. They scurry like cockroaches. They were doing some internal repairs on the ship, and so the boarding ramp is open, and Mox goes up into it and starts to make his way to the cockpit.
R4 went on my turn. He's doing the same thing. He's heading to the ship.
Okay. And the NPC is prone. So what he does is geez.
It takes a maneuver to stand up.
Yeah, I know. He's not a nemesis, but the next step down, so he can do some things others can't. But so he stands up, and I'm gonna take an extra maneuver to draw a knife from my belt and flip a dark side point. Give myself that extra maneuver, and then he's going to attack Europa.
Okay, well, I'm going to dodge, and I'm going to give him a 2-star. So he's going to get 3 black die for me.
3 black. Okay. And so what I'm going to do... is let's see. So what's the difficulty going to be? 3 black.
3 black for me, and then whatever he gets from like combat difficulty, which you
it's just 1, just purple. So I'll set the 3 black on my sheet. So yeah, okay.
I soak 5 of that, yeah.
So you take 1 damage. So he just makes this backhanded slash across your face, and it just makes a little cut on your cheek. He's like, "You won't escape."
Oh, this guy. This guy's fucked up.
PC's up.
It's the top of the order, right, guys?
Yeah, top of the order.
Well, I'm just gonna swing. Set my difficulty, Capitan.
Your difficulty is set.
So treat that force die as a success. No, treat it as an advantage.
Oh, you're gonna crit him.
Yeah, I'm gonna crit him.
Okay. Here, roll my critical.
Let's see.
Head ringer. Doesn't really have much.
It doesn't have an effect, yeah. No.
And then how much damage?
It does 4 plus whatever successes, so...
4 plus 2, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Okay. So you hit him. This guy's tough, man. He just kind of shrugs it off. And he's like, I'm gonna gut you like a bantha.
Oh, God. So how far away is the ship from me, Jared?
I'd say it's probably medium range.
Medium range?
Yeah, 2 maneuvers.
So he'd have to maneuver to get his weapon reach.
His main weapon, yeah, he would.
Does it look like a pretty fuck off blaster?
No, it's one of those stun batons.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna try this. Okay, yeah, I'm good. I will make it there. I make it to the ship. Or I probably make it in the ship, more or less.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So you like jump, leap over, scurry up the ramp, and next PC's up.
Malek's the only one outside at this point, right? So can I make it to the ship with my maneuver and my action?
Yeah, you could do 2 maneuvers with instead of your action, you can just do 2 maneuvers, and you won't have to suffer any strain.
Yeah, I can't take any strain. Well, I don't know what it
would
do.
You wouldn't have to if you give up your action.
Yeah, that's what I do. So Malek just sprints past the baton guy and looks at him and blows him a kiss as he runs up the ramp.
And he goes, "Traitor!"
I'm guessing the I know who this guy is now. I don't know why I wasn't thinking, but so
yeah, he's like a baton trooper guy.
Is the stormtrooper Finn? Is he up in the ship with us?
Yeah, he's been doing a whole lot of nothing except kind of following your guys' lead. So he's up in the ship and he's like, let's get this thing going.
R4 like raises the ramp, or actually Malek as he runs through hits the console next to the ramp and starts to raise it as he runs up into the ship. And
you guys running? Yep. Go ahead.
He yells at R4. He's like, "Get us out of here!"
So as you guys run up in the ship, the camera pans down. You guys are in the cockpit, flipping a bunch of stuff and starting to start up the ship. And then there's a screen wipe again. So now there's a screen wipe. The camera shows sand and footprints, lots of footprints. It pans up and then shows a big long line leading towards what looks like some sort of ship graveyard. To the left of these is a narrow path, and the sand looks like it was created by a rolling sphere. I could not find any BB-8 sounds, dude. It sucked. BB-8 beeps as one of the locals speaks up. "We're almost there," he says, as the sun sets in the distance and darkness begins to creep across the desert. He says, "This place is old, but not that old. Long ago, a great battle was fought here. Heavy losses from the old empire and what they called the rebellion back then." Then he smiles. "Who would have thought that such technology would provide little more than a burnout shelter for a ragged band like us?"
I thought we were going there with our newly acquired...
You do. You have the speeder. Yeah, you're in the speeder. But as you get closer, like, you guys start to dismount and stuff. So you guys all start to filter your way into this Star Destroyer, and you kind of see this scene. It's a big, giant interior, and the locals are like, "Man, this is going to be great. We're going to be sheltered from the night." And he kind of looks at everybody. Everybody's kind of beat up and very tired, I would imagine. Everybody's strain would be kind of low. And he says, "Let's set camp."
Just be careful, because this ruin might be home to a lot of...
Hello?
Hey?
You're good, man. You're good.
Okay. Tess is around too. She's not doing much this session, but...
Make yourself useful, Tess.
Give us a show. One of the troopers says, "There's been rumors about the type of entertainment you provide, Tickles."
So, as a morale booster to the troop, no.
It's really cold too, so.
All right. So they actually are able to build a fire and stuff, and it starts to get really cozy.
Well, I guess Tess will sort of scavenge around in the hulk here and see if she can find anything that might be of any use to us.
While she does that, I'm gonna gather all the stuff we got from and distribute, split the food and water equally, so all of us has at least.
So you guys all gather around the fire, and I want you to make a average leadership with a setback, Bruno. I'm going to set the difficulty. Okay.
There you go.
Boom. It's pretty good. So as they do this, the Toydarian and he enlists Tess's help, and they kind of distribute the water and help pep the troops up, and like the troops find new respect for both of them, and they're like, we should give a name to ourselves. And they start kicking around some names and stuff, and they look at the Tickles and they say, what do you think, Tickles?
And Tess looks at the ragged crew, and of course this sort of thing comes natural to these fighter jock types. She says, well, you look like Pwyll's pirates to me.
They laugh. They say, pirates? One of them raises his hand. Been there, done that. And they all kind of laugh. And one of the Jakku says, what do you say, Pwyll? Pwyll's pirates?
Pirates are not a very good adjective for us.
I was going to say that. He says, what do you think, Pwyll's pussies? He says, we're a ragtag bunch. We need to strike fear into the heart of enemy.
Yeah, I used to.
These are pretty rugged guys from Jakku. They're like pretty tough.
I used to
Pwyll's
use
pansies.
that adjectives.
Pwyll's pansies.
We'll just keep talking and just interacting. Good for their morale. So Pwyll's just going to take part of it.
All right. I don't know what your strain is, but Tess and Pwyll, give yourself back 5 strain.
Cool. That. Can I put 2 more? Use my second win?
It's per session, yeah. So yeah, you can if you want.
It's for encounter.
Yeah. This is kind of an encounter, so that's fine.
Pussy grabbers. Okay, I'm almost at full strain. So Tess, anything of use here?
Oh yeah, we didn't ever actually do that. So yeah, Tess will scavenge around and see if there's anything.
All right, what type of skill do you think would be appropriate to that?
I was thinking survival, probably.
Okay. Just give an average one, no setback, since you're now kind of in the interior of this thing. You're pretty well protected.
All right. Are you setting the difficulty, or am I?
It is set.
No.
So basically, you simply come back empty-handed. But as you come back, it's starting to get late. The fire is starting to die down, and one of the guys brings out a little bit of the whiskey, little flask of whiskey, and all the men start passing it around. And very, very soon after, they all start to slumber. And does Tess take part of the whiskey? Does she drink the whiskey?
Yeah, it would be totally out of character if Tess didn't take a shot.
Okay. And what about Pwyll? I'm guessing not, because he's a pansy.
Yeah, he's not a pansy, but he's not taking a shot.
So he doesn't drink the whiskey. And so they all start to fall asleep. And what does Tess do? Is she going to get a good night's rest or try to stay up?
Yeah, well, she would split the watch with Pwyll.
Okay. And Pwyll, are you going to go to sleep, or are you guys going to split the watch up?
Yeah, split the watch.
All right, who wants to go first?
It doesn't matter to me.
Who wants to take first watch?
I do.
All right. So kind of Tess snuggles down, and I think the problem is that website that I get the sound effects from, like the wind, isn't working. A lot of the other stuff is. So that sucks.
I heard it. I think I heard it at the beginning.
At the beginning, it just kind of stopped and started. You can't hear it right now, though, right?
No. Do you have the repeat thing on?
Yeah.
I mean, I have it on. I mean, I can hear it quite well, actually.
Crazy.
Try turning up your sound.
Yeah, it says it's playing, but I can't hear it.
Yeah, it says it's playing. I just can't hear it. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We shall continue. We're actually making good time in this session, so that's good. Let's do this. So Pwyll takes first watch. There's fire crackling. The men, the 6 survivors from Jakku, Pwyll's pirates or Pwyll's pansies or whatever you want to call them, they all get some much needed rest. They've been hungry and thirsty for so long they just fall right asleep. Tess is going to take second watch, so she's kind of sleeping as well. And she, as soon as her head hits her pack, she's out like a light because she had a little bit of whiskey as well. So eventually the sun sets and darkness creeps over the land. Coldness, too, may seep into your bones. Though by day the desert is hot, and at night the lack of sunshine can make it feel frigid. At least you have shelter, and more than one of the local soldiers tells a story to keep up morale. At some point, most of you exhausted fall asleep. At that point, BBA quietly slips into the night. But what I want you to do is I want you, Mr. Tired and non-whiskey laden Pwyll, to make a hard discipline check. Okay? And what is your strain right now? What deficit do you have?
Only one now.
Okay. So what I want you to do, it's going to be hard with a setback of discipline.
Is it set?
And the difficulty is set. Oh. So this is pretty good. So you're like fighting back. Your eyes start to drift off, and like you manage to stay awake, but you take 4 strain. You're just super tired. But then eventually you see BB-8 just kind of like turn its head around and beep, 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 and just roll off into the darkness and up out of the ship.
What do you think if I use those 3 threats, like he doesn't really care that BB-8's go? He forgot the...
Like he didn't see him?
No, it's not that like he didn't see him. It's just like he didn't care because he was tired and he didn't realize he was carrying the important information we need. Because 3 threats is a lot, you don't.
Hello, you're kind of cutting out a little bit. Yeah, I'm fine with that if that's what you want to happen. Okay, so you're just gonna let him head out.
Yeah, it said don't go too far.
He just kind of beeps. He just kind of beeps, and you guys come to shift change. And Tess you kind of go over to Tess and wake her up.
Yeah, and so BB-8 went out for a piss and has not returned. We might be worried about.
Tess kind of frowns at that. And he had to do what?
Yeah, piss. An oil leak. I don't know what droids do. They gotta pee, right?
And so at that, Tess will kind of follow the roll trail through the sand and see what she sees. Go look around the immediate area for BB-8.
Okay. So you walk outside into the darkness, and suddenly you're kind of hit by this cold, but you do see like a trail, like a flat trail, kind of winding away up over the dunes and out into the darkness. And far, far, far away, you can see like BB-8's headlight, like swiveling back and forth. And over the desert, you can hear this beep, 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 beep. You can hear him kind of beeping and rolling away. So what I want you to do, are you going to follow him further out to the desert?
She yells back into the ship. She's going after BB-8, and yes, then she'll see if she can catch him.
All right. So you yell back into there to Pwyll, and he kind of stands guard, and you head out after this droid. Now, as soon as you crest that first dune, you're just in total blackness. You hear the sounds of the desert surrounding you, and you hear BB-8 just get distant until finally you can't hear him anymore at all. And I want you to do a daunting survival check with a setback.
Okay.
And your difficulty is set. Oh, sweet. So you take you're going to take 4 strain.
Okay.